There's some good news as day one of the 20th AGOA summit wraps up. US President Joe Biden has revealed plans to extend the trade agreement beyond 2025. Participating African nations have already expressed their desire to have AGOA extended by at least 10 years. Aviwe Mtila caught up with a member of the Kenyan delegation to chat about how AGOA is uplifting their economy.
Day one of the 20th AGOA Forum is underway at the Johannesburg Expo, and trade ministers from across the African continent have met separately discussing what they want to seek from the US administration come day two. At the fore is extending the AGOA agreement, which expires on the 30th of September 2025. They want this agreement to continue for at least another 10 to 20 years. But the business fraternity also met on the sidelines of the forum itself, engaging on what they want out of this AGOA Forum. Now, joining me now is Mr. Jez Bedi from the Kenyan Expo, just to delve upon some of the discussions that have been happening behind closed doors. Mr. Bedi, thank you for joining us at the eNCA. But you part of the business fraternity, export some 6 billion out of Kenya. What are you looking for at this specific forum?
Well, the U.S. is a very strategic market for us. Last year we exported $890 million to the U.S., primarily under AGOA, and that's a great plus. We are the largest exporter of apparel from sub-Saharan Africa to the U.S., and last year that number was $544 million. To put that in numbers, that equates to about 56,000 direct jobs in the apparel sector, and that's the biggest win that we've had on the continent of Africa, to be the largest exporter to the U.S. Currently, as the legislation stands, and as you earlier said, it will expire on 30th of September 2025. That's 23 months away, and we're going into 2024 when it's going to be the U.S. election. And when the U.S. goes into elections, trade agreements like this are really not in the forefront of any discussion. So we would like this thing concluded this year in 2023 before the campaign starts in the US, because we could get forgotten very quickly. Our buyers will get very nervous because the trade agreement is not extended. They won't place business, and 2025 is too close to call.
And what happens then if it's not concluded this year and the US elections happen and we see the end of the AGOA agreement itself? What impact will it have on the African continent?
Well, if the AGOA legislation is not renewed, then of course all the jobs that are created by the legislation can be lost on the continent. The point to note here is a lot of those jobs are female workers, first-time jobs, young people, and as you know, in Africa, one job equates to feeding 4 livelihoods. So the impact is far greater. I think on the continent of Africa and AGOA beneficiary countries, the total jobs that actually depend on AGOA and on the legislation equate to 500,000 jobs. 500,000 jobs at stake, and we really need this legislation to move on quickly. I'm very happy this morning President Biden said to the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the U.S. Congress that he will authorize reauthorize the extension of AGOA, and that's breaking news this morning, and we are very happy that that has come out at an open time, because tomorrow as the ministerial starts, at least we have some guideline from the U.S. administration.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Bedi there from the Kenyan Exports, suggesting that there already is, of course, that breaking news coming in from the U.S. that President Biden is looking at extending the AGOA agreement, which, of course, many at this AGOA Forum 2023 will be listening to and looking to with keen eyes. Aviwe Mtila, Johannesburg.